Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up. In the month of May, I read a total of 8 books. I have 6 physical copies and 2 I read on my e-reader. So the very first book that I read in the month of May was Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. I liked the setting and the whole premise of what the book was. I didn't really connect with the main character all that much. I found she was a little bit annoying some of the times, but I did like the relationship that did develop in the book, and I did purchase the second one and I can't wait to continue it. So the next book I read in the month of May was The Heir by Kira Cass. I read this one on my e-reader because I couldn't wait until the next day to purchase it, so I did buy it right at midnight. I gave this one a 3.5. I wish I could have rated it higher, but I honestly did not like the book. Now, I do like the Selection series, and I did like America in the first one. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really enjoyed the first set of books. But I found that this one didn't have the things that I loved from the first ones. I really hated the main character's personality. I found her to be really annoying and bratty and self-centered, and she had an entitlement personality, and I couldn't connect with her at all. So because of that, I was constantly like rolling my eyes at the text or skipping pages, and I hated Edelyn so much that it made me hate the book. So yeah, I did end up giving it a 3.5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of May was Angel Fall by Susan E. I read this one on my e-reader as well. I absolutely enjoyed this book. It was amazing. I got it for free through NetGalley. I actually got the first 2 for free, for honest reviews, obviously. And I rated them both 5 out of 5. I absolutely love them. And because I liked the first book so much, I actually went out and bought the second one. Even though I did have it for free on my e-reader, I really wanted to have a physical copy, and I kind of want to buy the first one and the third one as well. I have the third one on my e-reader as well, but I want to have physical copies on my bookshelf because they're so good. The next book that I read in the month of May was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Rated this a 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved this book. I loved the main character. I loved, not only was she this badass assassin, but she was a major bookworm as well, and I think that's really cool that Sarah J. Maas made her main character a bookworm. And I loved the 2 guys sort of like love triangle that was happening in the book, and although I'm rooting for one over the other, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I haven't gone any further with this. I have the novella book and the second book in the series, but I haven't picked them up yet. Now, the next book I read, well, kind of read, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I only got that far through the book and then put it down. So I didn't really finish this one, and I know a lot of people are saying how amazing it is and they can't get over how great it is and they want the next one, and I couldn't get into it. Now, I love Sarah J. Maas' writing, and it was beautifully written, but I think it's because it's a fairy tale retelling and it's about Fae that I just can't get into it. Something about that genre and what I just couldn't get into it, and I'm hoping to go back and finish it. I am like about halfway through the book, so I'm not sure, maybe giving it some time. The only thing I had a really bad problem with this book is the black inside cover wipes off on your hands as you're reading it, so I found it really hard to read from the book because every single time I read from it, my hands, all my fingertips and everything would be black, so I'd have to read with the dust jacket on, and I didn't want to wreck the dust jacket, so it was like really hard to read this book. The next book I read in the month of May was An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I gave this book a 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it. The story, the atmosphere, the world, I loved everything about this book. And I gave it a 5 out of 5, and I can't wait for the next one, and I hear that they're making a movie out of it, and I'm really excited for that as well. I loved the main characters. I loved everything that happened in it. There was not a moment at all when I didn't like this book. I finished it in 2 days, and yeah. And the last book I read in May was The Rain by Virginia Bergen. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It was alright. It's a nice new aspect on a post-apocalyptic book. it makes you really think about how much we use water in our daily lives and how much water affects our daily lives. And when you can't touch it or use it, what we miss and how much it rains. And the fact that this takes place in England where it's always raining, it was a good book on that aspect. Now, the main character was a 15-year-old girl, so she was very worried about how she looked rather than what was going on, and I found that was just kind of annoying. I didn't really connect with her. Obviously, I'm not 15, so maybe a younger audience would find this one better, but I did enjoy it. I plan on reading the next one. And yeah, it was a good book. I suggest you check it out if you do like post-apocalyptic books, because this is a new take on, on these types of books. So yeah, check it out. So I'm not going to be doing a TBR because I find that if I do a TBR, I don't end up reading those books because I don't like being told what books I like to read, or I have to read. So right now I'm actually reading The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adia. I'm not really sure if that's how you say it. And I'm not that far through it, just started it. So I'm really enjoying this book so far. I actually really like the way the book looks as well with the deckled edges, but the way that the book's made, it's made to lay like completely flat. Like the book just opens up and lays completely flat, and I love that. And because it just makes it so much easier to read. Like this, you know, like yeah, a lot of books don't do that, and I find that really annoying. Like, does this one do that? Yeah, see? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure book lovers, like, look at that. That's amazing. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.